Hey guys, it's Reenactment Day here with a new video. In this video, this is going to be pretty much an updated version of my first video, my equipment carried and used by World War II infantrymen. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to start this with the inside, mostly from the inside clothing and work my way out to field gear. So to start off, in this footlocker is a lot of the equipment a GI would need. Socks. Now these are just normal, really socks. I got these at I just got this at the surplus store. See, they're kind of long. They're good because they go up past where your boot goes, making it so your boot doesn't rub on your pretty much this part of your skin up here. These socks I'm wearing, boot kind of goes up to here. It'll rub right here. And that would not be comfortable running around. So I'm not going to bother folding these right now. I'll just put those right there. Next, you would need, in this bottom section, shirt. Now this is just an ordinary green t-shirt. This could vary from either a darker OD green to this color or to white. But it's important to get at least just a normal green t-shirt. Really, again, that's all this is a green t-shirt. Now, what we got here is underwear. Not needed for reenacting, but if you want to be fully authentic, this is just a standard pair of underwear. A lot of this stuff you can find on At the Front. It's a website, and it's a great place to find it. Another thing is identity tags. These have my name and stuff on them, so we'll just get that. Put these away. Well, this one doesn't. This is the original guy's dog tag. I found this at an antique store. Came with an original P38 can opener. A lot of guys would put their P38 on can opener. Next, let's see. That's pretty much it for the first layer. We recommend getting a footlocker to store everything. It is really good. Next I'll go out to the basic uniform of a infantryman. Next, we have the standard M37 wool uniform. Now, all this is, like I said, just made out of wool. This is from At the Front. They make really good reproduction stuff. But this would be the standard uniform worn by all infantrymen of the U.S. Army. Got wool pants as well. You would tuck the shirt into the pants. That's pretty much that's pretty much how they do it, because you'd have a coat over the shirt, and you wouldn't really want the shirt hanging out. It might get wet. And if wool gets wet, a lot of people know that it takes a long time to dry. So you do not want wool to get wet. And that's why, they issue raincoats and stuff. And that is also why you want to tuck in that shirt. So, continuing with this pretty much layer of gear, you got a belt, just a standard belt. You can find this at surplus stores a lot. They're very cheap, about $3 on At the Front. They're about $15, which is quite expensive. But you can find them at surplus stores and places like that for, I got a second belt for about $5. So I'd definitely look at a surplus store before. Next, you got your khaki tie. Now this khaki tie is just, it's a khaki tie. You would wear this pretty much only during dress, when you need your dress uniform. Now pretty much the wool pants, wool shirt, belt, and this tie and the garrison cap would make a good dress uniform, but not the Class A uniform. It's more like the Class B. Now, this garrison cap, there's two styles, the PX version and the standard version, standard issue. This is the PX version. Standard issue is more rounded on the edge. Doesn't matter which one you get, but what does matter is the piping. The piping varies base on your job. If you're an engineer, you'll have a different color piping. If you're a medic, you have a different color piping. Infantry, which I am, has this blue piping. That is how you can tell each other apart. Now, on the left arm of the shirt, you would have your divisional patch. This is my 26th Infantry Division, Yankee Division patch. This is pretty much that's pretty much the layer of clothes you would have on next. So this would be a Class A jacket. Make your wool uniform a Class A uniform. You can tell it's a very fancy jacket, has all gold buttons, the Army logo on it. This one's dated 1940, but this would pretty much be what you'd wear to make it a dress uniform, Class A dress uniform. This you'd wear to like parties, dances, parades, pretty much everything. This is more of a winter jacket. In the summer, they let you wear just the wool uniform, because again, this is also made out of wool, and wool is really hot. So you'd have two pins up here. This one is actually kind of wrong. You'd have the one with two rifles. That would be infantry. That one's for detached enlisted men. And you'd have your, again, divisional patch on the left arm. That's pretty much how to create make your wool uniform a Class A dress uniform. You'd have this on along with the tie and the garrison cap. Or you could have the service cap, which is also nice, but the garrison cap works as well. Before I move on to the next layer, we got footwear. Now, starting off from on the left, these are service shoe rubber taps, which means you can tell they look a lot fancier than what you'd expect from a military boot. That is because these are dress boots. You would not wear these in combat unless your combat boots broke. But when you if you're starting reenacting, you get these first, because these double as dress and combat boots. Next, over here, combat boots. You can tell they're a different type of leather that can take more of a beating. And these ones are nicer ones that can get all scratched up. So you want to get these first, but get these as soon as you can after. But these are combat boots. They would have dubbing you would put on there. It'd be pretty much a waterproofing. As you see inside the shoe, there's no padding. Same thing with this one. U.S. Army, they started issuing boots, and that's what they were. They were boots. They didn't meant to be comfortable. They were just to get you from one point to another. Next, leggings. These will be worn over your boot. It'd cover pretty much it, kind of strap down to about here, and it'd make your boots taller. Your pants would be tucked into these, and as you see, has these little hooks, and you just take a rope and you fold it over like that, and you tighten it. Now you have to do that for all of these loops. Later in the war, they did create double buckle boots, which were pretty much this built into the boots, and they just had two buckles that you just fastened, and that made it easier and quicker to get these on. Now I have these because I just like the look of them, and I will take the extra time lacing it up so I can have the more World War II look. Because in my opinion, the leggings do give it a lot more of the World War II look. Next, what we'd have, another layer out, what you'd have is, it would depend on if it's winter or if it's summer. Now it's summer, you'd be more issued this M41 summer jacket, which the standard M41 jacket has a wool lining in it, pretty much to make it warmer. That's more for fall and pretty much for the cold times before winter. But this is the summer jacket. This is what you would see mostly at D-Day. This is pretty much, again, all the stuff is from at the front, except for the original stuff. But summer jacket, that would be the next layer. You wouldn't have to wear this, especially during combat in a hot summer day. It's not too fun to be wearing. Now you would wear this in the winter. This is a trench coat. You can tell it's pretty long It goes pretty much all the way down, covering about to where my leggings would be. Has a 3-button thing. It's all thick wool. It's really heavy. All buttons together. It kind of has a liner on the inside. But I've worn this already. Not during the winter, but during a warmer summer or a colder summer day. And I was sweating. And that was that was 50 degrees. So that's going to be really warm in the winter. Now, pretty much on every jacket and every piece of clothing, every piece of shirt you would have your divisional patch on the left shoulder, so you can tell who's who. Now, this would be the next layer out of your uniform. Hey guys, so I'm making this video. This is my second day making this video. It's not a two-parter, as you can tell, it's just one video. But if you hear the noise outside, it might get a little bit noisier. It is downpouring out there. And here, let me show you. Yeah, it's coming down pretty hard out there. Very windy. So if you hear that in the background, that's just what it is. So, moving on to the next layer, pardon that's just my phone charger, drifting around. Moving on to the next layer of gear is the field gear. Now, people would think you put on your haversack and belt, then you put on your bandolier and that, or something in order like that, but you'd have that first and that on top of it. You'd actually want this on top of this. You know what? My phone's charging now. I'm gonna just... There we go, that makes things easier. That would be under your haversack. And so would this. This would also be under your haversack. The reason for that is because if you want to drop this haversack, which, as you see, I only have it strapped on the front, not on the back. What a lot of guys did is they kept these back ones undone. So if they got into a combat situation and they needed to move a lot quicker, they just unhook these two, right there and there, take the pack off, and go into combat. Which, when I went to a reenactment, I decided not to wear this, so I pretty much did that and threw it in my tent. And this you would also want to wear under the belt to help this from flopping around. And that's pretty much the reason why you want to wear that under here. It just helps it from flopping around and like bouncing all over the place in combat. Now this is a lightweight gas mask bag. You could have a gas mask in it if you had the gas mask, but a lot of servicemen didn't have a gas mask in here. They just have normal, maybe extra K rations, extra ammo. Right here, right now I have wood from the wooden M1 Garand I'm making. But you could store stuff in here. I have just pouches and stuff. But you don't really need this. A lot of guys also just discard the bag with the gas mask, but I thought it would just be useful to have. Bandolier, it's pretty much what you think. This is an empty bandolier right now. You'd have cardboard inserts and M1 Garand M blocks, or I think you could use it with carbine as well. See, it has these little pockets here just to help you hold more ammo, because sometimes you need more ammo in combat. Moving over, this thing, the haversack. Now, the haversack is attached to the ammo belt. And the ammo belt, this one's for could either be M1 Garand or the 1903 Springfield, whatever you were issued with. The Thompson and carbine would have a different setup. If you go to My Attempt at History, he has a carbine setup, so he just recently did a video of his carbine setup. But you would have each end block in here. Each end block would have 8 rounds, 10 magazine or 10 clips, pouches here. That would make it 80 rounds, and then you could have more with the bandolier in the bag. You'd have your canteen, and canteen cup is in there, and your first aid pouch. This is just an Altoids can, really painted green. which a lot of GIs did that. That's fine. But you could also have stuff attached here, like you could have an entrenching tool, a pickmatic, an axe, or you could also have it up here. This is a T-handle shovel. You could have it up here, hooked onto your haversack. Now the haversack is where it's pretty much the backpack, and this is where you'd store everything when you're on the march, or 48-hour supply when you pack it as a combat pack. This, you'd have your canteen and utensils in here. I just have a pencil and some paper in there as well. Original mess tin. And I'll just really fasten back up. I'll get this fastened back up and I'll be back. So I completely forgot to mention the M1 helmet. This is just the M1 helmet, the most recognizable part of a GI. You can see has two separate pieces, liner and then the outer steel shell. Liner would be made out of fiberglass, but this is a reproduction, so it's made out of plastic. Also, how to tell the helmet's a reproduction or a post-World War II or a World War II one is either a reproduction, and a post-World War II one would have a rear seam right there. You see how the metal is kind of in a rear seam? But World War II ones would have it up front, right up here. Now, I don't have it. There's a way to make it look like it. You just take a wire snips and you run it across there, making it look like it has a seam. But yeah, the M1 helmet. I have netting over it, which is what a lot of GIs did. They put some form of cover on the helmet, which it could be the USMC full cover, the transitional one. That you know what I mean. Hopefully, the two-sided desert and woodlands camouflage. Or you could just have this like net or a fishing net. But this is to make sure your helmet doesn't get shiny in the rain. A lot of time, these helmets would get shiny in the moonlight, and this netting, you could also put stuff in it to help stop it from getting shiny and giving away your position. Now, a lot of also GIs wore their chin strap on around back, because there was a myth going around that if an explosion happened nearby you and blew your helmet off, and you had your chin strap on, your head would be in the helmet when the helmet blew off. But I don't really think that's true, but I just keep it up there for looks. So that is the M1 helmet. Now the outmost layer would be the rain jacket. This would be only worn when it's raining. This would go over your field gear, so you'd want to get it a size bigger. It has the same style as a trench coat, goes down to about where your leggings begin. And this is a raincoat. They also had ponchos. This is rubberized inside, rubberized canvas. So when it rains, it looks like it's getting wet, but the inside, the rubber is keeping me dry. But that's pretty much everything you would have on a GI soldier. Pretty much all the gear he'd be wearing. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you have any video ideas, also leave them in the comments. I'll see if I can do them. And I'll see you guys later.